Thank you for watching Vintage Weights PGH. Please support the channel by purchasing apparel through the link in the description or at www.vintageweightspgh.com. Old weights, new gains, and lift history shirts are printed on high-quality next-level t-shirts, and they are available in multiple sizes and color options. Thank you for supporting the channel. Welcome to Vintage Weights PGH. I am thrilled to finally bring to you a series of videos all about the Criterion armbar. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, that's not a Criterion armbar, that's a Gaspari bar. And that's what this video will touch on. What are the attributes of a Criterion armbar, and what are the attributes of an actual Gaspari bar? There'll be a little bit of history in this video, but in future videos, I will show you the Criterion attachment. I'll show you how I restored the Criterion armbar that I have. I'll explain how to tell the difference in the generations of Criterion armbars, and I'll give more of the history, and hopefully I'll have the inventor of all of these, Bruce Pearson, give the history of the Gaspari armbar as well. So this is a good time to remind you to subscribe to my channel, because this is only the first in a series of videos all about the armbar from Criterion. Bruce Pearson reached out to Facebook groups, vintage Facebook groups, because there were several people, collectors of vintage weights, reaching out to him. And once he posted on there, I innocently just kind of left a comment saying like, oh, do you know the owner of Criterion? How do you know so much about it? I had no clue that the owner of it and that the creator of these bars was Bruce Pearson. And he responded, I am all things Criterion, which I thought was such a poignant response. I am all things Criterion. I want to get a t-shirt made and send it to Bruce that says that. I am all things Criterion. Mark my word, I'm doing it. In any case, that's the personal history of how I met Bruce Pearson, because then I connected with him, started messaging, we had various phone calls, and before I knew it, I filled this notebook with the entire history of Criterion armbar, Criterion bodybuilding equipment, because he also built various other things, like a very interesting leg machine. He had some other ideas with dumbbells, but that's his story to tell. So what I hope to do is eventually have him on one of my podcasts, and we'd also like to do a training video together. Even though I'm not the best fitness model, it'll be cool to get some insight from the man himself on the best ways to use this equipment. So what can you expect in this first video? Well, I'm gonna go over the differences between the Criterion armbar and the Gaspari bar. The name is interchanged quite a bit, and there's a huge difference between them. I'm also going to just go through a basic, this is how you do curls with it, and I'll go through why, in my opinion, this is the greatest curl bar ever to be invented. Let's start out with the big difference. This bar that I hold in my hands, that many people refer to as the Gaspari bar. Every time I post it, I have people commenting, oh, didn't Rich Gaspari invent that? No, Rich Gaspari did a lot of wonderful things, and with all due respect to him, he's an amazing athlete, a legend. I'd love to talk to him. If you're watching, Rich, I have 2 podcasts. We can chat. Anyway, but he didn't invent this bar. I'll get to how Bruce met him in a little while. But for now, just know that if you find a bar like this that is solid steel with rotating Olympic sleeves and then handles that spin, you've found a Criterion armbar. There are some of these that were made with solid steel. Notice I keep emphasizing that. And steel handles that have a standard sleeve. However, the Olympic versions solid steel bar, solid steel handles are Criterion for sure. Woo, almost dropped it. Are Criterion for sure. So then right here, new in the box, I was able to get a couple of these, and I will be giving away this one right here, brand new in the box, only used in this video at a certain point. So please watch all of the Criterion armbar and Gaspari armbar videos, because eventually I'll be giving this away. For now though, I needed to film these videos. So then let's open it up, let's see what we got. So if you were to purchase this, well, this clearly is by the time that Rich Gaspari had partnered with Bruce. And if you look at the back of the packaging, we've got Rich posing, showing off what you can do if you buy one of these. We've got a message from him up top here. And then down here, we've got Criterion bodybuilding equipment. And that is Bruce Pearson's company, Criterion. Now, if I open it up, whoop, just tore the box a little bit. Thank goodness it's a free giveaway. What I find is this, brand new, never been used. In the handles, there's some tissue paper that contains the free barbell collar clamps. But the handles are a lightweight aluminum, and the bar itself is steel tubing. It's not solid steel. The handles also on the Gaspari bar are bolted on. They do not have a bearing on them. So they rotate, but not nearly as smooth as a Criterion armbar. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh man, this is an inferior version. Well, honestly, it is an inferior version. But for its time, in a day and age where people didn't have like commercial grade equipment in their home gyms, this was an affordable option for Bruce Pearson at the time. As his company started to scale and he started to get more and more orders, this was a great way to satisfy that demand because he had a well-known bodybuilder partnering with him. Bruce drove up to Edison, New Jersey to meet with Rich, and he had Rich try it out, and that's all I'll say about it, is that they became fast friends and partnered. I'll let Bruce tell the story in depth once he's on here. But if you look at these in comparison, they do look similar, but the one I set down weighs about 5 pounds. This one weighs 30 pounds. So a big, big difference. The two differences I would say would be the weight capacity is obviously much larger with the Criterion armbar. The quality of the build obviously is greater. And then the quality of the handles spinning with the bearings is much nicer. If we look at these side by side though, you'll see that the measurements are just about the same. It's just a difference in terms of the tubing versus the solid steel and the aluminum handles versus solid steel handles and the bearings versus the bolts. Now you know the difference between the Criterion armbar and the Gaspari bar. However, the other thing in the box, besides for these clips that would go on the end of the standard Gaspari bar, is a guide from Criterion bodybuilding equipment. And it tells you that the maximum weight limit is 50 pounds on the Gaspari bar. So 25 on either side, 50 pounds. It is for bodybuilding after all. This is not intended for, you know, CT Fletcher's strict curl championship. It talks about some, you know, protective things like making sure the spring clips are mounted next to the weights and do not place or drop the bar. However, it also talks about not placing the bar on a block as not to bend the bar, but the paperwork doesn't really give you any instruction because the instruction's right on the box. So check this out. it shows you right on the box the proper way to use the Gaspari armbar. You start out with your palms facing inward towards your body. You start to rotate as you come up, and then you finish with your palms facing your face. Let me briefly show you what I mean by that. So you start out here, and this is not the best form, but just to show you, you start out like this. A lot of times people will grab a curl bar like this because they're used to grabbing it like this. You only grab it this way for a reverse curl, but that's with a regular easy curl bar. If I grab like this, as I come up and rotate, then I finish in this position. That's all the training advice you're gonna get in this video because like I said, I want the master, I want the inventor, the man who made this to give the best advice. So why is this the greatest curl bar ever invented? I'm sure there's people out there that disagree with me. Drop a comment, help the algorithm. Explain to me all the ways that I'm wrong. That's fine. But I think this is the greatest curl bar ever invented because of a couple of things. First of all, when I picked this up, this is such an innovative and smooth movement. So think about it this way. If I were to reach out and grab something, I don't like pick something up and then bring it up to my face like this. That was an example that Bruce Pearson used when I was speaking with him. He talked about how the movement of picking something up and looking at it. Same thing, you don't always just kind of like scoop underneath something and curl it up to your face. So I think there's just some practical functionality involved with being able to twist as you come up. The other thing about it is that it hits more muscles and it hits them more completely. Whenever I come up, I feel that across my biceps, I feel that across my forearms, and I can even feel that in my triceps some. In addition to how unique that movement is, it's the quality involved. There are lots of imitation and other bars out there at this point that have some type of rotation going on, but there's no plastic on this bar, and the bearings involved could not be smoother. So please understand, solid steel, bearings in the handles, you can't get much better than this. Those are the top two reasons why this is the greatest curl bar ever invented. It's a novel, and interesting, and creative, and engaging movement, and it's well built. Bruce Pearson is an artist in addition to being a craftsman. So I'll give you one more little historical teaser, which is that Bruce told me when we were speaking that there's only been one person who correctly approached this bar and after contemplating how to use it, used it properly without instruction from him that he witnessed. Just one person. Drop a comment and take a guess who that person might be. It's someone who's still around and quite vocal. I like him. So please, take a guess in the comments section. It won't win you the bar just yet, but it'll get you a little step closer. The other thing that'll get you closer to winning this bar, and by the way, you're gonna win this one, the 5-pound one. I'm not giving away my Criterion armbar. I will give away this Gaspari bar though, and it's still pretty cool. I'll ship it in the original box and everything and package it up for you. I'll throw in some stickers and various things like that as well. So watch for the next video in this series where I tell you how I restored this. The third video in the series, we'll get into the attachment and how I've been using that with my surplus strength ultimate pulley. And then hopefully after that third installment, you'll get to hear from Bruce Pearson himself. Thanks for watching. And as always, old weights, new gains.